Welcome back to the analysis desk here for our final week of the European LCS Spring Split. Joining me, of course, is Quickshot and none other than Ocelot. First of all, Ocelot, there's a few rumours flying around today. They're not bad, don't worry. Well, kind of bad, in a way. You obviously came here about an hour ago, I guess. 4 of you at least. But you managed to lock Kevin inside of your gaming house.
It is true, I won't deny it. So I got no clue how that happened. How we cannot know that our teammate is in our house. Because normally he goes with a girlfriend, you know. He sleeps with a girlfriend normally. So we were like, okay, he probably slept with a girlfriend. So there's nobody here. We didn't even open the door, you know. And we literally closed we just locked it and left. And the guy is calling right now, where are you guys? I want to play too.
So, is he going to climb out the window and come here to the studio, or is someone have to go back and get him?
I got no clue, man. He's getting, he probably went mad and just started punching the door. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, he's got a little bit of time. You guys played 2 games today against the Giants, and then you close out the entirety of the Spring Split playing Evil Geniuses. Right now, according to public voting, Evil Geniuses say 53% chance they're going to beat you guys. What do you say to that?
Who said that?
Well, it's public vote.
Oh, yeah, public vote.
That's it. 52.87% in favor of Evil Geniuses. Do you think they're gonna? Do you think it's gonna ring true?
I love the community. I love Evil Geniuses and all of their players, but it's kind of unfair. It's kind of unfair how they get treated in comparison with other teams. And I'm gonna be totally serious right here and totally frank, because I really think so. Like, they got a good game out of 10, and it's like, hey, he's back, and this and that. I don't mind, honestly, but when it happens with other teams, like, for example, when Giants have a fucking... Oh, sorry. A really awesome week. A really awesome week, and nobody says anything, you know? I really feel for it, but... It's okay. It's okay. Okay. Whatever.
Talk to us about the games. Talk to us about the games. You guys are placed 3rd. You're guaranteed to hold that 3rd position going into playoffs. But depending on your matches with Evil Geniuses later, you could determine who's going to take 4th. So does that spur you on knowing, like, how does it affect you knowing that you could affect the final standings of, you know, the Wolves and Evil Geniuses?
Well, for me, it's really important. It's really crucial that we play the same way we've been playing until now. I talked to the team yesterday and said, doesn't really matter that we are 3rd already. I want tomorrow to win both games. I want tomorrow to do our best. No troll picks, no anything. Because I saw some teams doing it, and I really hate it, to be honest. We get paid for what we get paid, and people come from Denmark, from anywhere in Europe to watch us play in our max level. So it won't happen. We will do our best.
What do you think about the Giants? Because they've not had the best season, but at the same time, you know, they're in 7th position, but they've actually beaten some really strong teams. I mean, their record with Gambit finished 2 wins for 2 losses, you know? This is a very good team. Do you think they deserved a higher spot than the way they are right now?
Nobody deserves more or less than what they have, because at the end is the number of matches they lost or won.
Yeah.
But Giants is a Spanish team. You know how Spanish people is, mostly. Even though they don't show as many emotions as me, for example, or other Spanish players, they are emotionally involved. So when they are facing a very good team, they do their best. They know they have to beat them to show them, you know, to show them that they are good and this and that. And when they play against lower teams, tier 2 teams, that are just very good, but not as good as tier 1 teams, obviously, they don't perform as good, and it's just everything in the mindset.
So talk to us now. You know, we'll talk about quickly one more about the Giants. They're going to be going into the summer playoffs and facing off against the likes of Alternate or MYM. Will they be able to use the experience here from the LCS to help them win those matchups and re-qualify for summer, or do you think that all of these games will allow the likes of MYM and Alternate and all these other challenger teams to beat them?
I think it helped a lot, the fact that they were here in LCS. There's a lot of experience, a lot of games, a lot of weekly games. They know where they play, they know the studio, they know the environment. It's going to help for sure. I think they're going to make it. You never know in a best of 3 matchup. But I think they're going to make it. I think it's going to help a lot, their experience.
Are you happy with 3rd position? I mean, it's almost a silly question because you want 1st. That's a given. But realistically, is 3rd position where you expected to be?
Well, looking at in an overall perspective, you see 3rd. I don't want to be 3rd. I want to be 1st, obviously. But looking at it from, if you see before LCS, SK was a joke, as Double Leaf said. we didn't perform as good. We're a roller coaster, you know.
Yeah.
And right now, I'm putting a lot of effort into making sure that doesn't happen again. So we are being more regular. We are working more regularly. If we got a bad week, we try to come back the next one, right? The next one, not wait 1 month to change things. So I think we're doing the right thing to do. We are not going cocky when we win too many games in a row. We are not going too down when we lose too many games in a row. We are just, like, if you see how is it going, it's going up. You know, we are going uphill, or however it's called, you know.
Yeah.
We are improving every single game, and that's a good feeling. I know right now we are third, but if we keep working the way we are working, I think the next season we're going to be first.
Just to ensure that upward climb continues, don't forget your teammates next time.
That works too, yeah. That works too.
Good luck for your next games, and hopefully Kevin will manage to get out of the house and locking him up in
I think
prison.
Neve is going to get a slap for that.
Well, we'll be seeing SKA in action a little bit later on, first of all against the Giants. But first, we've got another exciting match coming your way. Your commentators for this one, it's Gambit versus Against All Authority, are Demon and Jason.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. So, Gambit last time had a bit of an uphill struggle against All Authority because it was a 60-minute match, and this could indeed be a fantastic game once again.
Yeah, I remember watching that match, and we were just breathless at how much action, how close it was the entirety of the game. You saw Schleya on that Orianna and Alex on his Karthus, and they were just going like head-to-head. It was like every perfect Orianna ulti would set up a fight for Against Authority, or every perfect flash at Alex would set up a perfect fight for Gambit. It was so close, and it really showed how much Against Authorities come together as a team with their new support.
Yeah, and both teams, of course, sitting at 2-1 for the entirety of Super Week. The question is, who will manage to go 3-1? Will Gambit lose, who are, of course, remember, still chasing that first place?
Yeah, well, they're going to have to give it their all here. I mean, we saw him use some interesting strats yesterday. We even saw Diamond on Evelyn. We saw him on Mumu. We saw Alex on Nunu. You never know what really could happen here, but Gambit, they really have to... They really can't underestimate this game because they want to hold that first place. It's like a matter of pride now. Yeah, you're locked in the top 2, but you want to show everyone you're the best in Europe.
Well, we shared the van with them coming in this morning in the shuttle bus, and they're in pretty high spirits. It's safe to say they seem well up for this one, so they're going to be putting on an entertaining show, I think is the phrase that they use. But let's go through the lineups, of course. It is going to be the blue team. It's going to be Gambit. Starting off, it will be Darian in that top lane. Diamond Prox in the jungle. Some would say best jungler in the world. Alex Ich in that mid lane. Genja and Edward.
And, of course, for Against Authority on the red side, Freddy 122 maybe in the top lane. Not sure where actually he's going to be going. Virtual in the jungle, Schleya in the middle lane, and Nono and Dude in the bottom.
So, of course, we do normally talk about the teams and the players for these, but for this one, we wanted to talk about the AD carry for Gambit this time. Actually, you know, he got voted into the All-Star team. He was the 4th member, but unfortunately, because only 3 members can go into that All-Star team, Genja, unfortunately, he didn't quite get picked because it went through the lowest number of votes, and it was the AD carries that had the lowest number of votes. So, unfortunately for him, it's Yellow Pete that went alongside him. But Genja, it's a very similar style that both play.
Yeah, he does. I mean, just look at that KD. Yeah, 6.5. It shows that over the entirety of LCS, he's been changed up his playstyle a little bit. He came in defensive, but now he switched up to being very aggressive in these last couple of days. He's been going with that whole Bloodthirster Guard and Angel combo on his Misfortune, on his Ezreal, just to really back up his aggression and allow his team to make plays off that instead of him just going in and dying and then like, oh, we lost the fight and backing away. But you know, out of the 11 times he's played Misfortune, 11 times he's played out of the entirety of LCS so far. He has 10 wins and a 9.9 KDA on that.
And of course, for Against All Authority, it's the man up top we're going to talk about, or doesn't always play in the top either. He sometimes plays in that mid lane. It is Freddy 122, the only Englishman on a French team.
And you saw him on day number 1 where Against All Authority went 2-0. He played Xin top lane, and it was just phenomenal. Like the work he did in the lane, keeping up on farm, not necessarily picking up kills, but the late game force that he really applied to the team was really nice. And as AP Kennen, unfortunately, when against SK, was kind of shut down. We haven't really seen any Kennen shine through unless it's Jim Bones on the AD Kennen. And we might see him revert back to some other champions, you know, to go against Gambit. Something a little bit more comfortable and something that works more with their team composition because they want to win this game. Like, they want to go even against Gambit here. He's currently sitting at 2.33 KDA for the season, which is the 2nd lowest KDA for top laners. But the thing is, he likes to come around in a team. Like, he's more helpful in a team. Even though his KDA is low, he likes to make sure they win the fights instead of necessarily winning his lane completely.
And he's actually one of the few members of Against All Authorities that pretty much always draws that Renekton ban.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, him and just like Darian, like, you want to take that away from him. You want to force him in a an uncomfortable position. But he's been learning a lot of different champions, like Xin. When was the last time we really seen him in the top lane? And he's the only one that's really been doing it lately.
Well, we will be getting into the game in a moment. The players are just about readying up or seemingly having a bit of a drum around there. No, he's just always got a big grin on his face. And this partnership with the new support, it seems to be working so well for them.
Wait, Damien, let me ask you, whose scarf is better, Diodes or Ocelot's?
Oh, big gauntlet thrown down, especially with Ocelot still in the studio. Who has the better scarves? Well, I mean, for a fact, we know that Ocelot has like 23 scarves. So he's got like many... 28 now. 28 now, apparently. 28 scarves. You know, he keeps on buying them. Every time he goes out, he's like, ooh, that looks nice.
I think he's going to buy... he's going to buy one every time they pick up a win. And just keep that closet getting bigger.
Well, 28 scarves to match the 28 games they've had to play.
There you go.
Yeah, see?
I'm not sure he even thought that one out.
Every game of the day, it actually just came like a light to Ocelot. Like, oh, that's a very good idea. It's going to bring more of them in his suitcase in future. But we are into the picks and bans, and Darian just clearing off his glasses to pick up that final ban. You can see he's not going to be selecting it just yet. Jarvan and Thresh have been taken away. The Thresh prints will not be shown. Ezreal taken away from Nono this time around as well.
Yeah, we saw Nono's Ezreal just do so well the first day of play in the Super Week. It was 11-0, 11 some point in one of his games. His build as well was very unique, but it worked out very well for him. And obviously that Jarvan could be taken away from Virtual, who really stepped up with him. He's really stepped up overall for his team as a jungler. And of course, you can't let Alex play Kha'Zix or he's going to get a pentakill on you pretty much.
Yeah, you don't want to let him play. He's one of the best players in the world on Kha'Zix right now, although Peke's just put a good sterling performance down there. Bjergsen also has put a fantastic performance out on it before. Shen has been taken away, so Freddy122 won't be getting that in the top lane or the jungler, and Twisted Fate removed from Alex Ich.
So we still have Renekton open. You talked about Freddy drawing that ban consistently, and with it open, they might actually grab it, but they are going to get Genja. Misfortune yet again. He lost that champion, just like I was saying before. 11 games played with her, 110 of them so far. Against Authority, what are they actually going to pick up here? Like, they could obviously go for their top lane, and they could go for an AD carry if they want, just to make sure to not show any cards too early. As I said, that looks like they might lock in a Graves.
No, we haven't seen Nono on Graves for some time, actually. He generally goes with other champions. Varus available, of course, so he could go with that, but instead he's choosing possibly to go with that Graves. See whether Freddy122 does go for that Renekton in that top lane. We haven't seen him being able to play in a long time. It's normally a staple ban against them, but they clearly felt that Jarvan, Ezreal, and Shen were more solid bans.
Well, against Authority, I mean, they haven't locked it in right away. It's kind of like, are we getting baited into this potentially?
Yeah.
Do we really want to go for it?
Do we want it?
Yeah, they're not sure. I mean, because the last game they played was just so close, and you know they want revenge on it. And as we talk about that, it looks like they will lock in the two brothers here.
Yeah, there's no reason to take the AD carry either, because they obviously already had that locked in, but they are going to stick with Elise this time, though. So, will we see Virtual playing Elise, or will it be Dude?
I'm going to say that's Dude. I mean, obviously, you're not 100% sure until we actually finally have it, get it, or finally get into game, but we've seen Elise on support last game with Mover, and we'll see how well Dude or even Virtual can use her, but the only person to really jungle her lately is Morden off the Giants, and obviously he's not in this game, so I'm going to assume that will be support.
So, it looks like the dog's going to be selected for Diamond Procs, and Edward, he's going to be returning to his roots. He's going back to Sonar.
So they have a very strong lane with that Misfortune Sonar. If they do go for that, they have a lot of poke, and it looks like they might try to go into that bottom lane as well. I would assume that they would want to go 2v2 in the bottom lane. Yet they haven't seen the AD carry support just yet. We still have, the thing I'm surprised is, like, Blitzcrank hasn't been picked too much. It's usually Fnac's the one that's picking him up. He's still very impactful in the games, and with how many wards you can acquire, how easy they are, you can always get off a nice sneaky pull and turn a game around. And Shalea, we saw him on Karthus. It was a phenomenal game versus Evil Geniuses. Alex played it last time against them. Looks like he wants to show Alex how well he can play him.
Yeah, played him very well last time, like you mentioned. Does pick up the exhaust as well, so we're expecting to see he's going to be up against something pretty rampant in that mid lane. Zed, of course, is available for Alex It, so we'll see whether he goes for something like that, or whether he chooses one of the AP champions. No, of course, he did select Graves earlier on. Let's see whether he does go for that this time around. No, Tristana.
And we saw, I think it was Marn versus CLG.
Yep.
Playing Tristana, and it was just ridiculous how amazing Marn played her. Like, every time he would pick up like quadras, even he picked up one penta. It was unofficial, but it just shows the power of Tristana late game. The range you have is just ridiculous, and you can always keep yourself safe by jumping. You can shoot people away, but we do see Cassidy being sat on right now, and usually you want to pick him up on the purple side because that way you can't counter him at all. But seeing the Karthus, obviously it's like, hey, we could probably go against him here and I can win that lane. But Shalea, you can run Karthus in the bottom lane. He's done that before. He's on the purple team, so he can pick up his blue and go down there. And that's always a possibility for him.
Yeah, we'll see whether it does work out. Of course, Zuna also plays Tristana quite a lot for Vulcan. It's another one of those players that uses it quite heavily. Looking like they may change to Diana here, though, against Karthus, and Rumble in the top lane for Darian. We'll see how that works out for him if they get locked in. 6 seconds left, so I expect it will be Edward. No, he's going to be changing. I saw him typing something. It's back to Kassadin.
Okay, I was about to say, like, with that Diana, be a nice combo to pull them in and keep them that Rumble ultimate, but with that Kassadin, he can go around and one-shot that Karthus, keep him from even being able to get into the middle of a team fight. I still don't think that Against Authority is going to let that happen. They're going to switch him into a different lane. There's no way that Karthus can really beat on Kassadin, like, especially when he hits level 6. It's like over for Karthus there. But Darren on Rumble, that's going to be interesting to see, and I'm assuming he wants to go 1v1 against Renekton because he can take him pretty early. Like around that level 3, level 5 mark, he should be able to beat him.
We'll see how it works out. Will it be a support player or will it be a jungler? It's going to be Nautilus in the jungle, so it does mean it's going to be Dude on Elise. So a fairly aggressive team from Against All Authorities. No sustain in there, really. Whereas Gambit, of course, they've got that heal coming out from Sona. We're going to see how this works out. Whether it does get locked in hasn't been chosen just yet for the jungle.
Well, we did see Snoopy use him from Evil Geniuses, and obviously Nautilus was changed in this patch. His armor is increased, the cooldown on his W was decreased, so you can keep it up a lot more of that shield, the AoE damage you do. So he's not a bad jungler. He has so many forms of CC, and it will get locked in. And the thing that Against Authority is going to have, like, the problem is the AoE that Gambit can apply. I mean, obviously it's not a lot because you have an AP mid who doesn't do too much AoE, but the whole point of the Crescendo, the Wither, the Rumble Ultimate can lock you down. It's really hard to escape from a team like this, and they also have an amazing disengage if they need it.
Well, we'll see how it works out for them. So, Gambit versus Against All Authority. It was pretty much a classic last week. Whether it works out the same, we're hoping it does, certainly in terms of a entertainment perspective, because Gambit, they are chasing Fnatic for that #1 spot. Against All Authorities, looks like that 6th spot is locked in for them. I don't think it's mathematically possible that they can chase the Wolves down anymore.
I don't believe so. I believe they are locked in the 6th, so they will be playing SK in the playoffs. So, you know, looking at that or knowing that, you can look at Gambit and say, hey, what's the best way to prepare for SK? Play one of the best teams as well. And really get that preparation, really get that training in for the playoffs, because that's going to be a really exciting week of matches.
Really excited Ocelot because he sees Kassadin playing and he loves to play it. If he gets to go against the Karthus, I think he'd be delighted with that one. And it's always that tricky pick. When you choose your AP mid that early on, you can so easily going to get countered.
Yeah, like Fizz. Like we've seen Alex play Fizz before. That's a really strong counter to Karthus if you wanted to go for it. But like I was saying before, I would assume that Against Authority is going to switch that lane up. There's no way they're going to let that happen because he can be shut down, but he has the exhaust, so he should be able to do a 1v2 quite well. The thing is, he'll be up against a Sona Misfortune if he does go into that bottom lane, most likely.
So we are about to get the game underway. This is the second match of the day if you've just tuned in. Final day, Super Sunday of Super Week here. Week 10 of the action here in the LCS in Europe. Of course, next week it is going to be the playoffs. That will be SK versus Against All Authority, and currently Evil Geniuses versus the Wolves. Could be the Wolves versus Evil Geniuses, but it really ain't going to make a difference. It's going to be 4th versus 5th and 3rd versus 6th. There is Edward on your screens. The Thresh Prince voted into the All-Star team as well. No, and Dude, his new member, alongside him, replacing Corralius, who used to be the king of Sona. I think it was safe to say that was pretty much his safe pick in that lane, but we do see a number of different supports now coming out for Against All Authority with Dude in that lineup, and it seems to have created a new flow for Against All Authority.
Yeah, I mean, just having to rely on that one champion. Whenever someone was available, Cross would pick him, so you knew that you always had that in your lane. The other team can pretty much expect that and kind of counter you, but with everything Dude's brought to the team, the aggression, the passiveness, if he needs to be, just a different champion pool, it's really helped them evolve as a team.
We'll see how this works out. Against All Authorities going aggressive. Edward and Diamond are in position to block them off if they do come for it. Looks like it's going to be Yellow Star. Yellow Star? Well, you know, maybe he's going to get in there. Maybe he wants to play again. Maybe he wants to play another game. He is French. He could sneak in there. No, wouldn't be too happy, though.
No, he wouldn't. But, you know, I don't even know if Yellow Star would meld well with the team that they currently have, because the relationship that No and Dude have...
Have you not seen them out in the town? They just stick together. The Frenchies are everywhere.
Well, I met him play... Oh, okay, fine. I'll just stop right there.
Yeah, they do love each other. Not in that way, then.
I was not thinking that. My mind may be weird sometimes, but it did not go there this time.
It's definitely weird, that's for sure. There's no block in that one. So, looking like the lanes are actually going to set themselves up to be fairly standard, and it will be the duo lane in that bottom lane, as well as a potential switch here for Against All Authorities. I think they want to be 2v1, so they're going to try and pin down Darien. Freddy122 is up this top lane so far, though, so expect them to go down. They're starting off with the raids.
What Against Authorities doing, yeah, they're going to actually put their AD carry support mid lane against Alex Ich, so just deny him really well. We've seen it happen actually versus SK before. I don't remember the team off the top of my head. And then, like we said before, essentially a bot lane. He could have picked up his blue. He did, in fact, go for it, but he has some sort of sustain with his Crystalline Flask and the health pot, not to mention the ward to stop any sort of gank from happening.
Well, we also saw this yesterday. Gambit tried to do it against Evil Geniuses, and it didn't actually work on Froggins and Nivea. So we'll see whether it's successful this time around. Alex Ich in that 2v1. It's going to be a tricky lane for him as well, but we do see 3 members right now going in towards that top lane. There is no ward placement here for Darien. He may well get spotted.
Dude does not have Cocoon, though. He went for some damage here. Darien does have flash to get away, but they are going to go for the gank here.
See if Virtual can land the hook, and he does. He manages to get it through. Is it going to be enough damage going down? Darien could well be first blood going down here. It will be Freddy122 that picks it up. Very nice start.
And we never see ganks like that happen anymore, like the early level 2 fight, because you're too worried about your own jungle, which we might see Diamond capitalize on, but it worked out so well for them. They gave him the first blood. It gave Freddy the kill, so now he has a nice advantage in lane. He's able to force that lane pushed in very quickly. And I guess Authority looking very, very good right now.
Freddy didn't even use that red pot. He had it in his hand, didn't need to go for it. He took 2 tower hits, though, which do hurt early on, but he's going to go back and buy.
And he's sitting on about 700 gold right now, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see Boots or Doran's Blade be picked up right here. So they give him just even more damage against Darien, who has a cloth armor, so he knows he's going to need that armor to really keep up with the damage that Freddy can do to him. But, you know, the middle lane, that's what's really interesting, seeing No go head-to-head against Alex. But you see in the bottom lane, that gank will be coming in here. It was pink order to stop the ward out of Schley, and they're going to go for it.
Virtual does walk straight in towards Diamond, though, and that may well be able to prevent that gank. So Virtual just being there by sheer presence should save Schleier's life.
But that means the blue buff is available. You see Virtual's low on mana. We see actually some counter jungling happening yet again. They're going to come behind Caston here and see if they make something happen. In the meantime, Diamond is still away the blue.
And they're going to see if they can steal it away. Virtual's coming around there. Dude's going to get caught out by Genja, and Genja does poke him through. Dude has to repel through there. Taken incredibly low. Not going to get caught out. The red buff isn't going to be quite enough. Now Diamond's going to get taken low. Still tanking out. No comes jumping across. They do get the kill. They leap back on towards Edward this time. They try and turn it back around because Alex Ich is there. Gets the slow, gets the snare, tries to get the immune, tries to get on towards him, but the cocoon lands on Alex. Very well played there. And Against All Authority, go defensive and pick up a kill.
And they were able to pick up their own blue buff as well. Virtual got that, so they got Diamond killed. They got the red buff off of him. Great job against Authority. I mean, they realized, crap, Diamond's probably going to go for it. We have to stop him somehow. And by doing that, they all just grouped up. By having the AD carry support mid lane instead of top, they're able to just pretty much have the fight in their favor.
Slayer taking a quick poke from Edward there as he passes by, and Alex Ich now switching lanes. So they want to put that Cassidin up against Karthus, and the duo lanes will be moving in towards the middle here, both AD carries. And Genja currently, he is slightly ahead in CS, but it is very, very close between these two.
So we're actually seeing the AP mid of Gambit actually be supported by Edward here. So we're going to have an AP support lane right there. We see the top lane some aggression happening. Darien getting quite low. But Freddy's just going to back off instead.
Doesn't really have the rage built up to go full on aggression on towards Darien there. So he did slice and dice across him, but unlike that amazing play we saw of Xiaomei versus ZZ Tai, we're not going to quite see the same from Freddy122 just yet on Darien. May well come in a moment though, does manage to get the stun there, and again tries to keep him at bay. The exact same role. He's going to have Virtual coming in. He's just baiting him out. Now he's overheated, so he's going to have to get away from this one, Darien. He's going to have Nautilus coming around the side. Virtual will be ready and waited. Where are you going to go, Darien? How are you going to be able to escape this one? I don't think you are. It's a doubled off. Nautilus coming on there, and it's going to be Freddy122 that picks up the second kill.
Yeah, he knew he was not going to escape from that, so he's like, I might as well farm in the meantime before I die, get some extra gold income as he did that. But great job by Against Authority, realizing his flash is still not available. We have a strong jungler right now. He has a red buff on him still. And create a nice opportunity to pick up a kill and give Freddy122 even more of an advantage in the top lane.
This is working out very well for Virtual so far. The jungler has been around for every single kill, trying to make something happen in that mid lane. Still with the double buff, remember, because Diamond did go down. And they have managed to successfully keep on roaming around. They're going to walk straight into a ward, though. So we'll go spotted. No, the ward just ran out. Perfect timing.
Thing is, will they be able to take it quick enough? They have 2 level 4s right now. We do have, looks like, Dude going to come down and help out here. They should have they should have the damage just because it's Karthus. Like, your single target damage on objectives is just ridiculous, and they will get a very early dragon here.
This is going to be a very early 6-minute dragon, of course. Schleyer did pass the ward that was around the tri-bush, so they're going to be aware of roughly the timer of this one. But that is a great, great start for Against All Authorities. 2,000 gold up against Gambit.
And the thing is, like, they're ahead in top lane, but the real problem is Schleier's behind in the bottom lane. Like, it's 32 to 18 CS, and that's with Alex 1v1 in the middle lane against an AD carry who has the range. So Schleier's really far behind. That Dragon's going to help get him back in the game, help get him some items he's going to need, because when Alex hits 6, which he is right now, you're going to see a lot of pain happen.
But surely as a Karthus, you know, his just sheer global presence with that ulti is going to just pull him back into the game regardless.
You would hope that, but the thing is he doesn't have much AP yet. I mean, he's being forced into Catalyst, which you normally would build anyways, but he doesn't have AP, which is going to be the real key factor. Like, his ult won't do that much damage. He might be able to get some assists and help get in, but he was level 4 to the level 6 Alex, and that is just a bad sign right there.
Yeah, we'll see how Nono works out against Genja as well. Genja has just been back to buy. He's got the double Doran's Blade. We do see Alex going aggressive on Schleyer straight away. You can see that combo. It's going to cause all many problems because it's just such a hard counter to Kassadin versus that Karthus.
You actually might see him go in for a kill here. He has Ignite available. As we see, Virtue going to be taking his red yet again. Blue will be up relatively soon then. And they're going to try to force it over to Schleyer, but I think that might not even be a safe move because if Alex can kill him, considering he's not even in position to get his own blue buff, then it's going to hurt Schleyer, keep him even further bound. You see the engage happening in the top lane. Darren trying to escape.
Both ultimates being used, Equalizer missing really out here, and Freddy122 should be able to pick up another kill if Slice and Dice is available. Instead, they both flash for it, and Darian does escape the damage.
It's a great job by Darren to actually bait out that flash. Like, he knew Freddy had it up, and he didn't want to use it too early because then Freddy would obviously have it up for the next team fight, but great job by him to just delay as long as possible. So you see Virtual trying to come on for a gank in the mid lane, but there's a lot of wards since Edward is sitting in the middle.
It was always funny with the animation on Nautilus to see him trotting along with the boots of mobility. It's like a fat guy trying to run.
Yes, it is. But either way, we do have Freddy was able to push that lane up. So he's level 7 to level 6 of Darien, so he was able to deny him a lot more CS, a lot more experience. And he is building, it looks like, potentially towards a Hex Drinker or his Mercury Treads, actually, as he goes for a Kindle Gem instead. So he has that cooldown reduction, so he can heal a little bit quicker, do a lot more damage.
Schleier's going to go back and bite. We do see the BF sword, the best friend sword, I think it's the correct term for that, and not the big flavoursome sword.
I don't give a sword.
I don't give a sword. Oh, I like it. I like it.
Well, in the meantime, we do have Diamond. He picked up his own blue here, so since Alex obviously wasn't in position for that, he's just going to take himself, helps him get level 6 a little bit quicker, which you might expect him to try to go for his, hey, I'm going to go for my early dragon around 9 minutes when it won't be there for him. And Alex, he was forced to go into a tier relatively early on because he needs that mana, and then you have Schleyer with that catalyst, so he's going to be able to sustain a little bit better in lane. So I would imagine Alex should be able to take him down.
They're gone for it. Nautilus ultimate comes out from Virtual. They should get the stun down on towards Darien as well. There's the slice and dice. The knock comes down. They're going to have to tower dive this one. The hook comes back out from Virtual. Is it going to be the end? Yes, it will be. Requiem comes out. The shield comes out. It's not enough ability power, and he escapes it.
Exactly what I was talking about before. I mean, the global presence is always powerful from a Karthus, but if you're being denied like this in lane, if you don't have the items you need, you're not going to be able to do any damage at all. But still, they're able to force him out of lane, and it allows them to do a lot of damage to start. Schleyer actually getting very low in the bottom lane. And that's what Kassadin's going to keep doing to him over and over. Every single time he has that Rift Walk up, he's going to try to push him out of lane.
Great reactions from Dude here. Realized that Diamond was going to come around and immediately sinks his fangs in towards Diamond. He's got that double buff already. He's going to try and steal the blue buff away from Schleyer, but he can't get on towards it. Dude's doing good defensive duty here.
I still say giving that blue buff over to Schleyer might not be the smartest move in the end. We have Edward actually coming around trying to help out as Schleyer getting very low into the turret. We have Alex in opposition. We have a 3-man blue happening for Gambit here, and they should be able to lock this down.
No needs to make a move in towards it. Virtual is going to come around, but the blue buff will go across, and it was Diamond that picked it up. I think Alex wanted to try and maybe steal it away, but it wasn't quite possible.
Yeah, he did. So that means 2 blue buffs in a row for Diamond right there. But still, I mean, Alex, he's not hurting at all in his lane, as you've seen him just demolish Schleyer every single time he has that Rift Walk available. Obviously, with that tier stacking up, he's going to be able to have more sustain as the game goes on. But I was expecting Against Authority maybe take an early turret in the top lane, just so you could maybe get Schleyer in a safer lane, maybe send him top, send the AD carry support, or not top middle, and send the AD carry support down to the bottom lane. But obviously, with Kassadin, he could just switch lanes back on you and get that 1v1 matchup he wants.
No, Genja in this mid lane. Double up comes out. Genja goes aggressive, forces No to rocket jump away. And Genja's going to pick up the farm. He's just been back to buy that BF sword. Flame Spitter coming out from Darien on towards Freddy122. Singed crocodile hair, I think, in that top lane.
He actually uses ultimate. Freddy122 uses ultimate just to kind of stay alive right there and give him a little bit of an extra edge.
Well, he may well need it as well because the flame spitter continues as well as the harpoons on towards Freddy. He's definitely being poked down a lot more by Darien now, but he goes aggressive, slice and dices on towards him and just keeps that poke back and forward. Virtual's going to sneak around the back.
And the thing is, you see, is that Darien was already denied 2 kills in the top lane, and he's still be able to 1v1 Freddy, but they're going to go for another turret dive on him and deny him another kill. Death.
Are they going to, though? He's going to have the equalizer available. Manages to land it all across Virtual. They're going to have to fight in it. It's going to be Freddy that picks up yet another kill. Diamond Prox is going to come in. He gets the wither down on towards Virtual. Virtual turns around, throws his anchor at him. Is it going to be enough? The slow comes out from Virtual and just prevents him getting the kill.
And this is like really reminiscent of what every team would do to Evil Geniuses, just camp out Wicked over and over. And now Darien with 3 deaths is not looking too good, but he's honestly not really worried about this position because the earlier they take that turret, the more he can free farm the top lane and push it in and really just keep the other team coming at him. As long as he doesn't pick up assists or kills, he's going to be worth less and less gold. And that means against Authority, we have to make plays in other lanes.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a bit of a change around from Gambit. Genja is moving in towards that bottom lane. Alexic is coming towards the middle, thinking they could try and catch out Slayer, but immediately Dude and Nono react to that and come straight back in towards the mid lane. And now we see Slayer. He's heading towards the top, so Freddy122 is going to go bottom.
I'm not sure if actually Slayer can 1v1 Darien on that Rumble. I mean, Darien, he has his Seeker's Arm Guard, so he has a little bit of AP.
What gets me is the fact that Darien's built so heavily in towards that armor, and now he's got an ability power champion coming at him.
Yeah, it's going to be a big problem, but he should be able to kill Karthus. Like, you have the speed on Rumble, you have the damage on Rumble, even just building armor items like this. And Schley has to be very, very passive here if he doesn't want to get killed. As you see right there, he's just being pushed out of lane in the top side on your minimap, and then you're seeing Nono and DU try to push Edward out of the lane as well.
Yeah, it looks like they may well change back again. Dragon is now back up. Remember, against Authorities, picked up the first one. They're going to try and pick up the second one. They are 4-0 up in kills, and they have that 2,000 gold advantage with that Dragon picked up. But the pings coming down this time around, it's looking like they're going to be ready and waiting for this fight.
And they do have a ward down against Authority. Cannot actually see this with that pink ward. So we're seeing Diamond come around. He's going to try to stop it here.
No's taken very low by Alex Inch there. He's going to try and turn around a bit of damage. He jumps, he's in towards him. Can he get enough? The flash, he gets him! No takes down Alex Inch. Fantastic play. Diamond's being kept away by Dude from this Dragon, but bullet time's going to come across. The Dragon does get taken down by Virtual, and now they're turning aggressive. It's Freddy122, but he's got his ultimate. The Requiem comes out from Dude. Can Slayer get the kill? No, he can't. It hasn't quite got enough damage, but against all Authorities, they are now 5-0 up against Gambit, and another Dragon picked up.
And that was a fantastic play by Schley. Like, he knew he wasn't going to pick up a kill with that Requiem, but what he wanted to do was just put fear in Gambit's eyes, make them back away with that extra bit of damage. So they're able to take the Dragon, able to pick up those 2 kills, and able to maybe even pick up a turret here.
Well, we'll see whether they do transfer into it. No was backing away, but instead decides to farm out the next wave. He's like, well, why not just stick around that little bit longer? And here you go, Equalizer on towards Slayer. Is he going to have enough to tower dive on towards him? Ignite does go down, but he doesn't want to fight him with that Defile running.
And you're seeing he's being pushed out of lane yet again. So every lane he goes to, he's just having a hard time. He only has 70 CS, which you don't want to see on a Karthus 14 minutes in. He's one of the champions that can farm the easiest here with that range, obviously. But looks like Gambit will take the bottom turret and the first turret of the game.
Yeah, Edward comes around and is going to be secured by Genja. So first turret of the game does go to Gambit, and they keep that pressure on. So despite the fact they are 5-0 down, 2 Dragons down, they are still keeping it with a very close 2,000 gold lead.
Yes, they are, and against Authority, I mean, they're getting stronger and stronger at this point. Schley is hurting as Alex is just going to get even stronger, so he's building towards the Callus as well. He's going to go for a Rod of Ages. Since he hasn't been able to get any blue buffs, he needs that sort of sustain in lane, but he has the potential to assassinate Schley very quickly in team fights. And if he gets any sort of kills or any sort of assists, then Alex can even maybe go for Nono and one-shot him.
Yeah, and you can see Slayer, he's come back and just look how deep he's having to play. Look how far back from that turret he's having to sit. But Freddy122, he's going to come around the backside of Alex Itch, and I think Slayer may well try and bait him in this one. He's going to come across, does get the slice and dice, but Alex Itch immediately rips, walks away.
And that's the safety of a Caston. You cannot really be caught that well. As long as you have that mana, you're able to escape. And they're trying everything they do to shut Alex down as the CS just going even further ahead of Schley at this point. And Schley will be able to pick up a blue for once here, but the real question is, I've been saying this entire game, can he hold on to it? Can Alex kill him and take it away? As we see Nono taking down that top turret, trying to engage on a Darien here.
Oh, the cocoon lands, but they do already back away from that one, and wisely so, because Alex Itch and Dude are there. And Dude, oh, he went towards Alex Itch. Alex Itch will take down Nono, though. Uses the barrier. I don't think he's got his ultimate available to knock him away. And now Dude's going to get chased down. Freddy122 tries to come in and help out, but he's going to be a dead Dude right now in that top lane. Can they catch on towards Freddy122? He's going to try and get the harpoons down to him. The withers there as well. It will be a triple kill turnaround. Very, very well played from Gambit. Suddenly equaling things right back up with within 1,000 gold.
And just as we talked about Alex getting strong, being able to one-shot Schley, you saw how much damage he did to No-No. He picked up 2 kills there, picked up 1 assist, almost was able to pick up his Rada Aegis as well. In the meantime, Gambit is 2-man pushing this middle lane, getting it very low. They might be able to take it on the next wave.
And this could try and pull the gold just that little bit closer. Diamond's ready and waiting to come around the backside of Virtual as well if he goes a little bit too deep. Instead, he didn't fight for it, so he takes away the Wraiths. Now Darian's going to have free farm in that top lane, and now Slayer, he's going to have problems in the bottom. Alex, it's returning.
And he should be able to kill him here. He has the mana to go for it as he rip walk over the slow. Might be able to pick up this kill, Demon.
He's going to have his resets in a moment. You can see Schleier's going to try and use that Defile. Dodges out the lay waste. The exhaust goes down. Is it going to be enough? Remember, he's going to have Requiem coming from this one, but I don't think it's enough. It's not going to take Alexic down.
And there we go, talking about that blue buff. I wasn't sure Schleier should pick it up, and he lost it over to Alex, so Alex hasn't even needed to take his own. And he's already far ahead now, 3-1 at this point, and he's already giving Schleier a hard time. You see Darien pushing that top turret, does get it down, but he's going to get fought here.
He's going to get taken down by Freddy122. I feel the slice and dice comes across. He will have the stun back up in a moment if he can shield Walker away from this one. Is it going to be enough? Freddy122 doesn't have flash available, and Darien does just shield away.
So that's 3 turrets pretty much taken in a row for Gambit right there. The gold lead that, or actually the gold deficit they had is completely flipped. They're in the head, or they're ahead for once with about 300 gold at this point, but still looking very good to get back in this game. Freddy's still trying to chase him down in the top lane, as you see against all, or No-No just taking out those Wraiths.
Against all No-Nos. That's simply what it is. The authority is the No-No right now because he's the man with the kills, as is Freddy122, and he's really going to have to try and carry pretty hard here to keep his team in this one, because Gambit, they are clawing their way back into it. No, you can see around the side, but he's going to get caught out here. The Riftwalk will come across. It's not going to be quite enough to chase him down, though.
Oh, dude, what is he doing? He kind of just repelled up trying to escape right there. Almost got caught.
Almost got caught, but he didn't. So it didn't matter.
It didn't matter. The thing is, against Authority, they have such a great late game team. Actually, they're trying to go around and catch.
They're still going aggressive
Gambit here.
They're still going for it here. Virtual wanted a piece of this, and they're going to look to see if they can get on towards Genja. The rest of Gambit were ready and waiting. The Giants, the Dragon's not up for another minute, so there's not any reason to actually be in this position to fight other than sheer... Do they think they can actually win the fight?
I guess so, but the thing is they can't at this point. They have a really good late game team with a Karthus, with a Tristana. If you get like a 6-item Karthus and Tristana, they're pretty much unstoppable. Then you'll have Dude who'll be able to build a little bit of ability power. So Gambit, they're trying to be really aggressive, trying to take the game a little bit early. And against Authority, they're having a hard time of just getting the game to that point of just free farming right now, just trying to catch up in items to get where they want to be.
We'll see how it develops. Tear of the Goddess was picked up by Alex Hitch quite a while ago. Rod of the Ages is also complete. Looks like they're going to try and collapse on towards Freddy122 here. You can see Darien going in towards it. Alex Hitch is already there, and they're going to get the flame spit. It's going to be Darien taking the turret damage, but they haven't got enough to chase him down.
But against Authority is closing in from the side here. Will they try to go for a fight and lock someone down to Gambit?
Oh, the hook comes through, but he doesn't quite catch on towards Darien. He has to use his equalizer to keep them at bay, and just backs off from the fight.
So now you have Gambit. They pushed up that first turret on the bottom lane, so now they pretty much have all access to the blue buff of against Authority. AA luckily did put a pink ward down though, so they did take away that vision, and they need to hold on to that as long as possible because they're starting to group up for fights. Like the laning phase is pretty much over for both teams. They just want to group up and try to force the fight, try to force some turrets. You see No just trying to escape right there. And they just need to retain their jungle camps. Like, they have to make sure they can farm their own jungle and then push the lanes out just to keep up in terms of gold.
It looks like they want to fight for the Dragon here. Edward caught out by the Cocoon. There's the equalizer going down. Darien's going to go in towards this one. Where is No going to go? Dude repels out and actually maybe escape this one. The ultimate comes out, but Dude has been taken down. And now Slayer comes in, but he can't get that Defile close enough to Gambit. And Gambit are just shredding against all authorities apart here. Looks like it's going to be Slayer going down in a moment. There he is. It's Diamond Prox picking up 1, picking up 2. Can he get the triple? You bet your life he can. Requiem comes out, but he does absolutely 0, and Gambit walk away with an ace for nothing.
And that's right after we talked about against Authority not really wanting a team fight because they wouldn't win it until we get way later in the game. And Gambit taking every advantage from that, taking the ace, taking a turret as well. And the goal lead is so heavily in favor of them after they're already behind 3,000 gold for majority of the game.
And there goes the turret in the mid lane, the first inner of the game, and now it's a huge advantage for Gambit. They just swung it from 1,000 difference between them to 3,000 in a matter of seconds, and that's going to grow once again as this Dragon goes down to Diamond Prox and Genja. Will stretch it to a 4,000 gold lead, as well as the experience gain across the board. The entire team will be picking up from this.
And you look at Gambit's like turns of KDA right now. I mean, yeah, you have 3 deaths onto Darien, so he's kind of hurting in the top lane, but you see like his ultimate is really what he's used for right now, is just slowing them down, cutting off their disengage. Then you have Alex who's 3-1-3, you even have Diamond who's 3-1-4, and then you have a 0 death bot lane combo with Genja and with Edward, both at 0 kills, but they have a lot of assists.
And there's a 3-level swing between the mid laners right now. Alex Hitch has got a huge advantage over Slayer, and that's simply why they can't fight now. The equalizer gets used out by Darian there, just keeps them away from that mid line, defends it perfectly. No, you're going to have to tank it out there. Bro, very good job from Darian, considering how much he got absolutely slaughtered in that top lane. He knew his job. He knew that's what his team were asking him to do, and he knew the fact that Alex Hitch, if he's put against Slayer, is going to win that fight.
Yeah, I mean, the ultimate. You just put it down, and you let Alex and Genja just finish off the team for you. That's all you really use for. You'll get the items you need eventually, as he has the hunting guys now. He has sword boots. He has a nice amount of penetration. And I'm curious to see if he's going to go towards his Zonia's first, or maybe go for a Riley's Crystal Scepter for a little bit more health and a little bit more slow. But now Gambit, I mean, they're kind of getting caught a little bit, but still, they have a great disengage to get away.
Yeah, they can see against all authorities trying to make a play there. It's not really working out for him. Slayer needs to pick up any farm he can. He's 0-2-1 right now. He's 60 CS behind Alex Hitch right now, as well as 3 kills down.
And you look at Genja in the top lane, doing what we talked about before. He just loves to split push the entire time. You forget about him for a majority of the game, but he comes back with you with tons of items. You see against authority, pushing the mid lane. They're going to get the turret.
They've caught on towards Edward as well. They're going to see the anchor going through. It's going to be Dew jumping on towards him as Resurrection team, but the crescendo hits the entire against all authorities team. You can see Slayer though in there with that defile. They're going to try and keep them back. Alex Hitch is coming from behind. Here he comes. He's going to rift walk in. The Diamond Prox does pick up the one, but Alex Hitch has been pinned out there. It's going to be Genja picking up another. Alex Hitch takes one. It's a double kill for Alex Hitch as well. It's a triple kill for Diamond, I believe, in there as well. Wow, fantastic play. And yet another ace. It's a 5 for 2 this time around though, but Gambit, they're just going to go straight back up mid.
And they should be able to get an inhibitor turret off this. The thing is, against authority, like they keep wanting to force these team fights. They knew Alex was out of position, but he just walked around with that rift walk, got right behind him, and they sandwiched the entire team of against authority. 2 aces in a row. That's not a good position to be in.
It's not what you want, and they thought they could try and take that fight out, and that all began with that absolute epic crescendo coming out from him.
Yeah, he got pulled in to against authority's team, and then he crescendo across 4 of them. It was like a, oops, didn't mean to do that, as Virtual was saying, but that was a great play out of Edward to turn that into a potential death.
Yeah, sorry guys, that was my bad. It did mean we all lost and died. But as it stands, you can see now that Diamond is at 5-1-7, Alex Hitch at 5-1-3, 2-0-8 for Genja. And despite the fact that Darian, he was at 0-3-0, he's now 1-4-10. He's been involved in so many kills since just changing around that top lane. Did they even want to take down that top turret early on? I'm not too sure they did.
The thing is, he's doing the exact same play Kevin did on SK. Just push the lane, you know, you're going to get caught, but because of that, you're forcing the enemy jungler to pay attention to that lane. So since Virtual was helping out Freddy 1-2-2 in the top lane, Shlaya was getting destroyed in the bottom lane or wherever he decided to go. And you're seeing the results of that. You have Alex who's 16 to the 13 of Shlaya. You need that level 3 ultimate out of Karthus to really be a threat in these fights. And Gambit are just snowballing this.
Gambit are on a mission. It's a 50 CS difference also between the junglers, Diamond and Virtual, which equates to a 2-level difference between them, but it's more importantly still a 3-level gap between Alex Hitch and Slayer. The AD carries, it's just that 1-level difference, 1 level between the supports as well, which is obviously all about those turrets and the dragons they've been able to catch down as well. The 2 top laners are actually pretty close, just 1 level difference as well between those. But it's all about Alex Hitch right now. That Roman's been working for him, and now we see the Runic Bulwark being picked up by Diamond. That's ultimate, that Requiem is not going to do a great deal. And now Nono having to use his ultimate just to force him away, but they're going to try and pin him down. He should be safe here. Flashes in towards his turret.
The thing is, he had to use that summoner to get away, and he was already forcing a Mercury Treasure right now just to get a little bit of magic resist. So next time there's going to be a fight, Gambit should be able to lock him down right away, and he is the majority of their damage right now. He's 2-3-2 with about 200 CS. I mean, Freddy, yeah, he's 3-3-1, but he's not really a damage source as the game's going to go on. He's be more of an absorption of damage source. So as long as they can knock Nono down, Shlaya is not going to have the damage to really make up for that.
So 2 minutes before that dragon comes up, and Alex Hitch continues to just harass the opposition. Slayer's running down to this bottom lane. He just wants to pick up any farm he can, anywhere possible, but Genja's already heading down south, as well as Alex Hitch running down that river, but they're going to get spotted by the wards.
As Shlaya was spotted down there, you saw Alex just do a 180. He's like, wait, I'm going down there right now. He just switched up his entire playstyle right there to go down for it. But obviously Shlaya did back away, so he canceled that move. But you see him, you know, on your minimap, he's invading the blue buff. He's trying to keep timers on it. He's trying to keep it away from Shlaya and keep it on himself, but they might get engaged upon. Against authority kind of stuck out and split up.
They're completely collapsing on him. Alex Hitch is going to take the bait. Rift walks away from it. And Diamond was also moving in there, but those wards actually simply spotting out him there. If Against All Authorities hadn't got those few wards, which have now actually run out in time, and they would not have spotted him coming so soon. They need to get those fresh wards back down, which is exactly what they're doing at blue buff.
And DU does have an Oracle, so he's trying to clear the vision inside of his own jungle because he knows that Gambit's just being really aggressive. They're keeping pushed up. They're trying to take away as much jungle as they can, but Edward has one as well. So against Authority, they don't want to go into a team fight, but because of what a Gambit's doing, denying the vision, potentially giving the threat of Baron against Authority, has to react somewhat or give away that Baron and an inhibitor.
Of course, against the Authorities, they're having to effectively 5-man defend right now, so the experience swing will continue for Gambit's favor. You can see how happy they were to roam the jungle. The blue buff being stolen away from them this time while Alexic gets chased down in this top, but it's going to be Diamond and Darian picking that one up. No will take the red buff. Looks like Diamond's been the one that's been gifted that. Oh, he rip walks over. Look at DU just getting absolutely shredded by Alexic there.
In the meantime, we're seeing engage happen in the mid lane. Schleier's getting caught. Darian's going in.
The Defile's there, but the crescendo comes across. It's going to be Schleier going down, and they all immediately get out of that Defile. The Requiem's not going to quite be enough. The Zhonya's Hourglass comes out from Darian. Freddy122, he's going to get pinned down. It's Edward that picks up the kill, and that's a 3-for-0 already for Gambit.
And they should be able to push up this middle lane and get the inhibitor, or they could go back for Baron if they want to, but they are heading back towards Dragon a little. Actually, no, Alex just chasing down Virtual here, trying to go for the kill, and he should be able to catch him because he has the mana for it.
The rest of the team, they're heading for Baron. It's going to be Alexic on towards Virtual. Virtual's not going to be able to do a great deal to get away from this one because Alexic can just rift walk wherever he goes and continue the chase. He's got no support right now, and Virtual will get pinned off. Baron is being picked up by the rest of the team, and this is complete domination now for Gambit.
That was a really interesting play out of Virtual. He was able to pull over that wall in River onto the other wall and get over that. I didn't think he could actually do that, so that was really interesting to see. But we do have Gambit taking away that Baron. They're got those 4 kills. And this lead is just getting even more one-sided for them.
Yeah, it's definitely becoming a bit of a stomp right now. So, Misfortune, look at that. Genji, he's quite happy to use his bullet time to just clear out the waves while the rest of the team are like, come on, give us a little bit of CS. That's all we had to do. In terms of CS between the AD carries, it's still actually pretty close. 208 to 232. And look at that, just 1 CS difference right now between the two there. Gold-wise, it's actually pretty close as well. So no, really the only saving grace for against all Authorities. But as you mentioned, he's just not able to do anything in the fight because Alexic can rip walk across. And look how aggressive he's being here. He's thinking of actually going in against 3 members of Against All Authority.
And you're completely right about Nono, but the problem is he's not even level 18 yet. Like, he needs that range. And see Diamond going to catch someone here with that Baron buff. They might try to go in for a fight.
He's been pinned off and separated from the rest of the team. Genji's pushing the top as well as Darian. That ultimate anchor, actually, he gets out of the distance there, and he's going to avoid the damage here. He's just riff walking in towards the base around the... Where are you going, Alexic? He's completely avoided the entire team, and he's going to get back to Darian in that top lane. Look at that, Freddy. They're trying to set up a trap, but it's Alexic that's setting the trap himself. He's just going to riff walk away from this one, and just no problem.
I feel like we're watching the Great Escape right there as we do see Against Authority engaging on a Genja.
Well, Genja is going to get caught out, but Diamond now coming in. Alexic is still there, remember. He's going to get caught on towards Freddy122. The damage is being done. Everybody on Against Authority is taken low, but Edward was not with them. So there was only 3 members at the top there because Genja got caught out.
And you still see how Against Authority got without Genja alive during that fight. He got blown up in the very beginning, and yet Gambit was still almost able to take out a couple of members Against Authority. They're able to get this inhibitor turret. They have Edward finally here, and they still might try to go for a fight if they want it.
Well, they could go for the inhibitor. Also, there's a giant stack in towards the mid lane as well that they could try and clear out. Instead, it looks like they're going to have to back away from this one. Against the Authorities just about defending, but that's the open exposed inhibitor in the top lane now, and I don't think they're done just yet.
And Genja, he's sitting on 3,000 gold right now. Hasn't bought anything. He's dead, so he obviously could pick up something, but he's kind of just waiting until he's back alive to pick up the item. And I don't know if he's going to go for a GA or maybe go for a little bit more damage.
Well, it's 7-1-5 right now for Alexic. The mid lane all-star, along with Diamond Prox, the jungle all-star, and Edward, the support all-star, all putting in a fantastic performance versus Against All Authority. Runic Bulwark's been picked up by both junglers now, so Virtual's trying to do what he can. Remember, he had such a fantastic start. He was 1-0-2. Alexic gets hooked in there, but again, the rift walk. It's so hard to track down a Kassadin when you're so mobile, and there's not a great deal Against All Authority can do to pin him down.
Yeah, in terms of items, you can see Morello Nomicon picked up for Edward. He's very rich right now. He's 2-1-8. You know, why not pick up? Gives the healing reduction, gives you the cooldown reduction, which is always key to have on a Sona, especially with those crescendos, not to mention your healing. Gambit are just going down this middle lane. They're just chugging through. They have the top inhibitor open if they want to go for it. But Alex and Darren are both coming up the middle lane, and we're going to see where they're going to go from here.
Well, that Baron buff, it's going to be wearing off very soon. It's got about a minute left on it, and they are going to collapse on towards this top inner turret. In fact, it's Schleier. He's kind of out of position here. He's trying to be sneaky and baiting on towards Edward. I just don't think he's got the damage, and Edward just flashes away from that one. Does force the flash, but the rest of Gambit, they're going to come around the side.
But we don't have Darien here. It looks like they actually still might commit for this fight.
Why not go for it? Because Freddy wants to do. They're going to try and force it. The bullet time comes across. Has got away without using that ultimate. The ultimate now comes out. Virtual gets taken down. The crescendo catching the entire Against All Authority team. Legendary Alex Ich goes in for 1. Goes in for 2. Can he chase on towards No? Requiem comes out. He gets blasted away. Barrier comes out, but it doesn't matter. Alex Ich picks up the triple kill. Fantastic play. And Gambit are just dominating Against All Authority.
And Freddy's the only one to escape from that, but it's 22 to 8, 31 minutes in. Gambit were down for a majority of the game, but they just came back from a couple of great team fights. Diamond going head-to-head against them, but I think Freddy's just going to walk away knowing he won't be able to do anything against the entire lineup of Gambit.
Happy to tank out the double Nexus turrets. It's going to be the final inhibitor turret going down here. If I tell a lie, the bottom one didn't get taken, but it will be the first inhibitor of the game for Gambit. They're going to rotate towards the top, take down that inhibitor as well. So that's going to be Gambit in full control of the base of Against All Authorities. The respawn's just about coming out now. Can Against All Authority try and get any exit kills? They're going to get on towards Diamond. They do manage to get the stun down on him. The cocoon lands. It may well be Diamond being the sacrificial lamb, but the equalizer comes out from Darien. Alex Ich is a long way away from this fight. Darien now, he may well go down. Genja's off at the side. Edward's there as well. They're just going to let Darien die here, I think. He flashes away from it. He gets hooked back in, though, by Virtual. They get the Wither back on towards him. It is another great escape from Gambit. I don't think Darien can escape this one at last, though. Will it be enough? Alex Ich is now coming in from the side. Beware Against All Authorities. The Doombringer is coming from around the back. Can he manage to get in? There's a potential for a triple kill right there. Alex Ich is actually pretty low, though, and hasn't got a great deal of mana. He goes in. He gets one. He continues to be legendary. He gets the Wall of Pain caught on towards him. Schleier's going to try and catch on towards him. Alex, I don't think, can escape this one this time around, and finally admits defeat and goes down. It's 23-10 right now for Gambit.
And during the entirety of that fight, we did see the bottom inhibitor turret get very low. It's down about a 6 health right now just because the minions consistently pushing that. So even though Gambit, they did lose 2 members, they were able to keep them away long enough to have the middle inhibitor down. Still the top one available if they want to take it. And obviously will be the next play out of Gambit, though. Baron will be up in a minute and a half if they want to go for it. And the items, they just keep getting even more one-sided now for Gambit.
So Gambit in full control now. 8-2 in turrets. Huge advantage gained. Remember, Against All Authorities, they led this game from the start. They had some great kills. They were 5-0 up in kills as well, remember. So they've only picked up 5 kills since those opening moments, when it always looking so rosy for Against All Authorities. But Gambit, it's the old tradition. You give them a finger, they will rip off your entire arm.
And you have to remember, those 5 kills that Against Authority got, 3 of them were onto Darien. So yeah, there were 5 kills, but it was all into the same guy, and you had Schleia, who fell behind a little bit because he was against Alex on Kassadin, and you had No, who was keeping up with Genja, but wasn't able to do anything really dominating in his laning phase.
So damage being stacked out by Genja. You can see he's got that Black Cleaver along with the Bloodthirster and Last Whisper. Another BF sword picked up, so that can only spell the Infinity Edge that's probably going to get built out there. Alex Ich, meanwhile, well, he's got all the damage in the world. 11-2-6 right now. He can just go in and absolutely pop someone, as we already saw him do with Dude.
He's going to be doing that against No probably the entirety of this fight, maybe even Schleia. We do have Gambit finally grouping up. Baron is up in 20 seconds, so they could easily go for it since that middle lane is pushing. Obviously, they don't have to go for it when they have the top inhibitor available. And look for the ultimate out of Rumble to actually start the engage here.
I'm looking more towards Alex Ich. He's getting ready and waiting to go across. Dude already threw out that cocoon. He didn't want to get caught out by it. The inhibitor in the top lane is exposed. Remember, they could just swing straight up towards that one. They have super minions coming in this mid lane. Instead, they're going to go across, take down the bottom inhibitor to clear out the inhibitor as well. And now Against All Authority is going to try and react, see if they can do anything. But Alex is ready and waiting. The anchor's been thrown out. It's Darien is going to land on, but he's the only person it's going to react to. And now he can tank it. He's strong enough to tank it through there. Alex is just waiting his time. Crescendo comes across. Against All Authorities, pinned against their own base right now. The Nexus turrets are their only escape. Alex Ich is going to come in. He gets a poke, doesn't quite get the kill though. But Freddy122, he's been pinned off there. He's going to get taken down. It's Alex picking up yet another kill. Chasing on towards Dude. Can he get away from it? No, he can't. Alex Ich picks up a second kill on towards the fountain. Turns around. Genja picks up a third. The double up comes out, but it's Edward that picks up the kill. Requiem comes down. It's not going to be enough. And No, the last man standing for Against All Authorities as his Nexus fall. They don't even get Darien down, as just thought they might be able to finish him off. The Nexus turrets will fall, and Gambit, they retain their #1 spot as No gets caught out finally towards the end there. It's Diamond picking yet another kill up, but a fantastic performance from Gambit Gaming.
And you saw at the beginning of that fight, you saw Virtual use the ultimate onto Darien alone, and that was their major engagement of the entire fight. And and it's not the target you want to hit it on. They weren't able to pull anything off of that, and we saw an amazing repel out of Dude actually to avoid the damage out of Alex and stay alive, but it just wasn't enough in the end. Gambit finishing that game off 27-11.
Well, it was a fun performance, and no looking at Diamond. He looked scared then. When he looked at him, he was like, whoa. His grin went and everything. He's like, this guy's scary. It's Big Diamond. And, well, I mean, look at that. 7-1-14 from Diamond Prox, 12-3-9 from Alex Ich, roaming around that map, picking kills up where he pleases. What a fantastic game. And we are, of course, going to pass over towards our analysis desk. It's Joe Miller and Trevor Quickshot Henry.
Thanks a lot, guys. So, what was a great start there from Against All Authority quickly escalated into a bit of a one-sided bashing. It was all started, you know, a great, as I said, start to the game. They were racking up kill after kill. Darian was not having a fun time in that top lane. He went down to 0-3-0, I think, was behind all over the place. But then Gambit picked up that triple kill at the top.
Yeah, so you've got to give credit, first of all, to Virtual's Nautilus. He was all over the map. He secured first blood for Freddy in the top lane. He roamed down to the bottom lane, and he fended off the 3-versus-1 dive. The very second he got there was literally the time that it needed to. He picked up another kill top. What ended up costing them that initial advantage was the triple kill that they gave away in the top lane of Nono, Dude, and then Freddy going down. They managed to get the top lane tower, but they hung around too long. And Cassidy managed to roam up. They got kills, and that was literally the turning point. From those triple kills, the hyper carry of Cassidy got gold that he needed to just get that item crescent, as it were, and just destroyed Against All Authority. We had back-to-back aces in team fights. And once that happens, you are so far behind in terms of items. With the assassin of Cassidy on your team, the damage that Nasus and Rumble are putting out, there was no way for them to come back.
So let's have a look at the replay then. And you just mentioned back-to-back aces. Replay takes place with the second ace there.
Yeah, so the reason I want to highlight the second particular ace is because Gambit managed to pick it up after starting 3-versus-5, okay? Let's jump into the replay very quickly. There's 22 minutes on the clock. To set the tone, 5 members of Against All Authority, they're pushing down this middle tower, and I just want to show you the positioning of the rest of the team. Cassidy is at the inner bottom lane tower of Against All Authority's base, and you can see Genja in and around the Baron pit. So jump back to Edward here, as it is him that gets caught out, that sets this chain of motion in play. Now, I'm going to put this in slow-mo, and I want to pause the second the crescendo hits and take a very, very good look at Against All Authority's HP bars. What Diamond Prox and Darian do here is they use their damage over time abilities, the ultimate of Diamond and the Flame Splitter from Darren. They don't use their ultimates. Pay very careful attention to the abilities they get used. AAA are fighting now 2-versus-5. And they're trying to deal as much damage as possible, and slowly, their HP just gets dropped a little bit and a little bit. Then all of a sudden, a couple tower hits come in there, and again, no equalizer, no bullet time has come down. It's only Nasus' ultimate that has been used in this entire fight. They managed to pick up the second kill on Rumble very, very shortly, but you'll see just how quickly Alex comes in here to clean house. And it's just a testament to the coordination and the focus that Gambit put on the game. And it's the reason the back-to-back aces actually ended up happening, because they had a clearer idea of who to target and how to position in those particular engages. 3-versus-5 to come out of it losing 2 and picking up an ace, a deserved victory from Gambit.
Yeah, if you went anywhere during that game, around the 13:30 mark, you almost blinked and missed it. That's how incredible that turnaround was. But 27-11, they ended up finishing that one. Like, that's a really, really strong performance from a Gambit that were heavily behind at the start of the game. How about an MVP? We're going to call for this one again. There was some really great individual performances. Alex Ich, for example, 12-3-9 by the end of it. But we decided on giving it over to the dog in the jungle.
Yeah, we had to give it to Diamond Prox. It was because of his counter ganks and his positioning after the team fell behind that he got his team back into it. And every single time in those team fights, he was surviving, he was putting damage down, he seldom went down. 1 death in the game. And in a game that has 27 kills for your team, you cannot get a better testament to perfect positioning.
Well, thanks a lot, Quickshot. We'll be back a little bit later on together. We're mixing around the casting team today because, of course, we have 8 games coming your way. But for now, we're going to go over to the main stage where Alex Ich is waiting with Shocks.
Thanks. Alex, the game didn't go so good in the beginning. What Darian was feeding, so you won, right?
Yeah, Darian was feeding. They did a lot of lane swaps, a lot of moving on the map. They got first 2 Drakes. But then we came back on one-day mistake, and after that, game was in our hand.
Absolutely. Now, next week in the playoffs, you could be up against or SK, EGA, or the Wolves. Who would you rather not be up against, and why?
So, you know, I don't care.
You think you'll beat everyone?
It's like if you want to place the first place, you need to be able to beat every team.
Absolutely. Now, you're looking very strong right now with Gambit. Kind of reminds me of Season 2 when you were winning everything, but then when it came to Worlds, it didn't go as good. How would you think if you'd have to play all the international teams right now, you would do?
I think that if we're behind, not that far, and I think like Chinese teams are a bit ahead now, like World Elite and IG. And TPA are a bit behind, I think, because they got some team swap of players. So I don't think that they are confident in their play at the moment. Maybe they will come back to the Season 3 finals. And as for Korean teams, they are really good, but I think that Chinese are better in the moment. Like maybe KT Rolster B is at the same level.
Thank you very much, Alex. Now, we're going to take a short break right now. Don't forget to shoot us your answers for the Twitter question. What team do you think has the biggest chance of an upset win in the playoffs? And why? Hit us up on Twitter at LOL Esports, #LCS. And for now, SK Gaming has stepped up this weekend with great play, and both the AD carry Candy Panda and jungler Hercubot in the top 3 of the KDA stats. They'll want to show us that day, and no one else deserved that 3rd place with a win over Giants. Giants versus SK, coming up.